Navigating a difficult divorce can be one of the most challenging emotional journeys a person can face. It often feels like a roller coaster ride, filled with highs and lows that can leave you feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. The process is not just about the legalities of separating lives. It's a profound emotional upheaval that can shake the very foundation of who you are. From the initial realization that the relationship is ending to the heart-wrenching moments of packing up shared memories, every step can be fraught with pain and uncertainty. You may find yourself grappling with feelings of loss, anger and confusion, questioning your decisions and wondering what went wrong. It's a time when you might feel isolated, as if no one truly understands the depth of your struggle. Yet amidst the turmoil, there are valuable lessons to be learned. In this video, I want to share my personal story of navigating through a difficult divorce, not just to recount the challenges I faced, but to connect with anyone who might be going through a similar experience. It's important to highlight that you are not alone in this journey. Many have walked this path and emerged stronger on the other side. By sharing my story, I hope to create a space where we can reflect on the emotional complexities of divorce, the challenges that arise, and the resilience that can be cultivated through adversity. Throughout my experience, I learned that it's okay to feel a myriad of emotions. There were days when I felt empowered, ready to take on the world, and others when I was engulfed in sadness, questioning my worth and future. It's a process that requires patience and self-compassion. I discovered the importance of leaning on friends and family for support, as well as seeking professional help when needed. These connections became my lifeline, reminding me that vulnerability is not a weakness but a strength. As I navigated the legal aspects of divorce, I encountered numerous challenges that tested my resolve. From negotiating custody arrangements to dividing assets, each decision felt monumental. I learned to advocate for myself and my needs, which was a significant shift from the dynamics of my previous relationship. This newfound assertiveness was empowering, teaching me that I could stand up for myself and my future. Moreover, I found solace in reflecting on the lessons learned from my marriage. Every relationship teaches us something, and it's crucial to extract those insights, even when the experience is painful. I realized the importance of communication, respect, and understanding in any partnership. These lessons have not only shaped my perspective on future relationships, but have also fostered personal growth and self-awareness. As we delve deeper into this topic, I invite you to join me on this journey of exploration and healing. Together we can unpack the emotional weight of divorce, share our stories, and ultimately find hope and strength in our experiences. Remember, every ending is a new beginning, and through sharing our stories, we can inspire and uplift one another. Let's embark on this journey together, embracing the lessons learned and the insights gained along the way. Reflecting on the initial years of our 30-year marriage, it's clear that we built a life together rooted in shared hobbies and compatible values. From the very beginning, we bonded over our love for the outdoors, often spending weekends hiking in the mountains or biking along scenic trails. These activities not only brought us closer, but also fostered a sense of adventure and teamwork that defined our relationship. We enjoyed cooking together, experimenting with new recipes, and hosting dinner parties for friends and family. Our home was always filled with laughter and warmth, a testament to the strong foundation we had created. As the years went by, we embraced the joys of family life, welcoming two wonderful children into our world. Our son and daughter became the center of our universe, and we dedicated ourselves to providing them with a stable and nurturing environment. We attended every soccer game, school play and parent-teacher conference, celebrating their achievements and supporting them through challenges. Our shared values of hard work, integrity and kindness were instilled in them, and we took pride in watching them grow into successful adults. Both of our children pursued their passions and carved out their own paths, and we felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that we had played a role in their development. Family vacations became cherished traditions, whether it was a summer road trip to national parks or winter holidays spent at the beach. These moments created lasting memories and strengthened our bond as a family. We often reminisced about our early days together, laughing at the silly things we did as young parents and marveling at how far we had come. Our home was a sanctuary filled with love, laughter, and shared experiences, and we believed we had built a life that would last a lifetime. However, as the years progressed, subtle shifts began to occur in our relationship dynamics. The routines that once brought us joy started to feel monotonous, and the communication that had been so open began to dwindle. Life's responsibilities, such as work and parenting, took precedence, and we found ourselves drifting apart. It was during this time that I began to sense an underlying tension, a disconnect that neither of us seemed willing to address. Then came the day that changed everything. My wife, with a heavy heart, announced that she was feeling unfulfilled and needed to explore her own identity outside of our marriage. The words hit me like a ton of bricks. I was blindsided. I'd always thought we were on the same page, sharing dreams and aspirations for our future. The suddenness of her announcement left me reeling, grappling with a whirlwind of emotions: confusion, sadness, and a sense of betrayal. In that moment, I realized that despite the years of shared experiences and the love we had cultivated, there were deeper issues that had gone unaddressed. The stability of our family life, which had once felt unshakable, was now hanging in the balance. It was a stark reminder that even the strongest relationships require ongoing effort and communication. As we began to navigate this unexpected turn in our lives, I understood that the journey ahead would be challenging, but it was also an opportunity for growth and reflection. The moment my wife revealed her unhappiness and infidelity is etched in my memory, a moment that shattered the world I thought I knew. We were sitting at the kitchen table, the evening light casting long shadows across the room, when she finally mustered the courage to speak the truth that had been weighing heavily on her heart. Her voice trembled as she confessed to feeling unfulfilled in our marriage, and then, with a deep breath, she admitted to having an affair. The words hung in the air like a dark cloud, and I felt as if the ground had been pulled from beneath me. A wave of emotions crashed over me: shock, disbelief, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. It was as if time had stopped, and I was left grappling with the reality that the woman I loved had sought solace in another man. In the days leading up to her confession, I had sensed a shift in her demeanour, but I had brushed it off as the stress of daily life. Her secretive behaviour had become more pronounced. She would often take long phone calls in another room, her laughter echoing through the house, leaving me feeling like an outsider in my own home. I noticed her spending more time on her phone, her texts seemingly innocuous, but always just out of my sight. I had convinced myself that it was just a phase, a temporary distraction from the pressures of work and family life. Looking back, I realised now that I had overlooked the signs: her late nights at work, the sudden interest in new hobbies, and the way she would often retreat into herself, leaving me to wonder what was happening beneath the surface. As she spoke, I felt a mix of anger and heartbreak. How could she have kept this from me? How could she have chosen to confide in someone else instead of me? The realization that she had found comfort in another man was a bitter pill to swallow. I wanted to know everything about him: who he was, how they met, and what drew her to him in the first place. The complexity of their relationship began to unfold as she shared details that only deepened my sense of betrayal. He was someone from her workplace, a colleague who had been there to listen when she felt unheard at home. Their connection had started innocently enough, but it had quickly escalated into something more intimate, something that I had never seen coming. The emotional impact of her confession was profound. I felt as if I had been blindsided by a storm, tossed around by waves of confusion and despair. The trust that had been the cornerstone of our marriage was shattered, leaving me questioning everything we had built together. I struggled to reconcile the woman I loved with the person who had chosen to betray me. In that moment, I felt utterly lost, grappling with the reality that our shared life, filled with laughter and love, had been tainted by secrets and lies. As I sat there absorbing the weight of her words, I realized that this was not just a moment of crisis. It was the beginning of a long and painful journey toward understanding, healing, and ultimately redefining our relationship. In the aftermath of my wife's revelation, I found myself engulfed in a whirlwind of emotions that left me feeling utterly devastated. The initial shock morphed into a profound sense of betrayal, and I struggled to comprehend how the woman I had shared my life with could have chosen to hurt me in such a deep and personal way. Each day felt like an uphill battle, and I quickly realized that the emotional toll was manifesting physically. Insomnia became my unwelcome companion. I would lie awake at night, my mind racing with thoughts of what had transpired, replaying every moment leading up to her confession. The silence of the night was deafening, filled with questions that had no answers. I felt trapped in a cycle of despair, unable to find solace in sleep, which only exacerbated my feelings of hopelessness. As the days turned into weeks, I noticed a decline in my health. The stress of the situation took its toll on my body. I lost weight rapidly, my appetite vanished, and I felt a constant fatigue that no amount of rest could alleviate. I would look in the mirror and hardly recognize the person staring back at me. Hollow eyes, unkempt hair, and a face that seemed to age overnight. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant man I once was, and I felt as if I was slowly fading away. The emotional pain was relentless, and I often found myself overwhelmed by waves of sadness that would wash over me at the most unexpected moments. Compounding my struggles was the lack of empathy I felt from my wife. While she had shared her truth, I sensed a disconnect in her understanding of the devastation her actions had caused. Conversations often felt one-sided, with her focusing on her feelings and needs while I grappled with my own heartache. It was as if she had already moved on, leaving me to navigate the wreckage of our marriage alone. I longed for her to acknowledge my pain, to offer comfort and reassurance, but instead I felt isolated in my suffering. In stark contrast, our children became my unexpected pillars of support during this tumultuous time. They sensed the shift in our family dynamics and rallied around me, offering their love and understanding. Their presence reminded me that I was not alone in this journey, and their concern for my well-being became a source of strength. We would spend evenings together, sharing meals and engaging in conversations that helped me feel grounded. Their laughter, though tinged with sadness, brought moments of light into the darkness that had enveloped me. Determined to regain my health and peace of mind, I began to focus on self-care. I sought professional help, attending therapy sessions that provided a safe space to process my emotions. I started incorporating exercise into my routine, finding solace in long walks and runs that allowed me to clear my mind. Slowly, I began to reclaim my sense of self, recognizing that while my marriage was in turmoil, I still had the power to heal and rebuild my life. I immersed myself in activities that brought me joy, whether it was reading, gardening, or reconnecting with friends. Each small step toward recovery felt like a victory, a reminder that I could find strength within myself even in the face of heartbreak. As I navigated this challenging chapter, I held on to the hope that in time I would emerge stronger and more resilient than before. As the reality of our impending divorce settled in, I made the difficult decision to communicate with my wife primarily via email. The emotional challenges of face-to-face conversations were overwhelming. Each interaction felt like a fresh wound, reopening the pain of betrayal and loss. I found that writing allowed me to express my thoughts and feelings more clearly. Without the immediate emotional reactions that often clouded our discussions, it provided a buffer, a way to articulate my needs and concerns without the intensity of direct confrontation. However, this choice was not without its own set of challenges. Each email I sent was laden with anxiety as I braced myself for her responses, unsure of how she would react. The written word can sometimes feel cold and impersonal, and I worried that important nuances might be lost in translation. Yet, it was a necessary step for me to maintain some semblance of control over a situation that felt increasingly chaotic. The discussions surrounding property division were particularly fraught. We had built a life together, accumulating assets and memories, and now we were faced with the daunting task of untangling it all. I approached these negotiations with a sense of trepidation, knowing that emotions could easily flare up. To my surprise, my wife's demeanour during these discussions was markedly different from what I'd anticipated. Instead of the expected defensiveness or anger, she seemed almost detached, as if she had already emotionally distanced herself from the situation. This behaviour left me feeling unsettled. It was as if she was viewing the negotiations as a business transaction, rather than a reflection of our shared life. Her willingness to let go of certain assets without much discussion was puzzling, and I couldn't help but wonder if she had already moved on in her mind, leaving me to grapple with the remnants of our past. Despite the emotional turmoil, I was determined to maintain boundaries throughout this process. I recognized that engaging in heated arguments or allowing myself to be drawn into emotional manipulation would only hinder my healing. I focused on what was necessary for my well-being, reminding myself that this was a business arrangement, albeit one steeped in personal history. I approached the negotiations with a clear mind, prioritizing fairness and practicality over lingering feelings of hurt. I sought to ensure that both of our needs were met, but I also made it clear that I would not tolerate any attempts to undermine my position or provoke emotional responses. As we navigated the complexities of the divorce settlement, I found solace in the knowledge that I was taking steps toward healing. Each email exchanged, each decision made, was a step away from the pain of the past and toward a future that I could shape for myself. I began to see the divorce not just as an ending, but as an opportunity for renewal. By maintaining my resolve and focusing on my own emotional recovery, I was slowly reclaiming my sense of self. I understood that this process would take time, but I was committed to emerging from it stronger and more resilient. The boundaries I set were not just about protecting myself from my wife. They were also about creating a safe space for my own healing journey, allowing me to move forward with hope and determination. The impact of the divorce on family relationships was profound and far-reaching, affecting not only my immediate family but also our extended networks. My relationship with our children became a focal point during this tumultuous time. They were understandably disappointed in their mother, grappling with feelings of betrayal and confusion. As they processed the news of our separation, I found myself in the role of both a father and a confidant, providing them with the emotional support they needed while also navigating my own heartache. Our conversations often revolved around their feelings of anger and sadness, and I encouraged them to express their emotions openly. I wanted them to know that it was okay to feel disappointed in their mother's choices, but I also emphasized the importance of understanding her perspective, even if it was difficult. This delicate balance was challenging, yet it strengthened our bond as we navigated this uncharted territory together. As we leaned on each other for support, I made a conscious effort to maintain a strong connection with my children. We spent quality time together, engaging in activities that brought us joy and distraction from the pain of the divorce. Whether it was hiking, cooking, or simply watching movies, these moments became essential in reinforcing our family unit amidst the chaos. I wanted them to feel secure and loved, reminding them that while our family dynamics were changing, my love for them remained unwavering. Their resilience and ability to adapt were inspiring, and I took comfort in knowing that we were in this together, forging a new path as a family. In addition to my relationship with my children, the support from my extended family played a crucial role in helping me cope with the emotional fallout of the divorce. My parents and siblings rallied around me, offering their love and understanding during this challenging time. They provided a safe space for me to express my feelings without judgment, and their encouragement reminded me that I was not alone in this journey. Family gatherings became a source of solace, where I could share my struggles and receive the comfort of their presence. Their unwavering support helped me regain a sense of stability, reinforcing the idea that family bonds could withstand even the most trying circumstances. On the other hand, my wife's relationships with her own family members became increasingly strained as the divorce unfolded. I observed a noticeable shift in her interactions with her parents and siblings, who were understandably concerned about her choices and the impact on the family. They struggled to comprehend her decision to pursue an affair and the subsequent fallout, leading to tension and conflict within her family. Conversations that once flowed easily became fraught with discomfort as her loved ones grappled with their disappointment and concern for her well-being. It was evident that she felt isolated, caught between her desire for independence and the judgment of those who cared for her. As the divorce progressed, I recognized that the ripple effects extended beyond just our immediate family. The emotional turmoil had created a divide, not only between my wife and me, but also within our extended families. While I found strength in the support of my loved ones, I could see that my wife was struggling to navigate her relationships, leading to further isolation. This dynamic served as a poignant reminder of how divorce can fracture not just the couple, but the entire family unit, leaving lasting impacts that require time and effort to heal. Ultimately, the experience underscored the importance of open communication and support within families, as we all sought to find our way through the complexities of love, loss, and rebuilding. Reflecting on my marriage and my wife's actions, I found myself engulfed in a tumult of emotions: betrayal, confusion, and a profound sense of loss. The revelation of her infidelity shattered the trust that had been the cornerstone of our relationship, leaving me grappling with questions that seemed to have no answers. How could the woman I loved, the person I had shared my life with for so many years, choose to betray me in such a profound way? The confusion was overwhelming. I felt as if I was trying to piece together a puzzle with missing pieces, struggling to understand the motivations behind her choices. Each day brought new waves of hurt, and I often found myself replaying moments from our marriage, searching for signs that I might have overlooked. As I delved deeper into my thoughts, I began to examine the personality traits that may have contributed to her decision to engage in an affair. My wife had always been a passionate and driven individual, traits that I admired in her. However, I also recognized that her desire for validation and her tendency to seek excitement sometimes overshadowed her commitment to our relationship. She had a knack for seeking out new experiences, often craving the thrill of the unknown. In hindsight, I could see how these traits, while initially appealing, may have created a vulnerability in our marriage. The very qualities that had drawn me to her became the same ones that led her to seek fulfillment outside of our union. This realization was painful, as it forced me to confront the complexities of her character and the ways in which they had influenced our relationship. Despite the hurt and betrayal, I was committed to understanding the situation rather than allowing anger to consume me. I recognized that the path to healing would require introspection and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. I sought to understand not only her actions, but also the underlying issues that had contributed to the breakdown of our marriage. This journey of understanding was not easy. It involved grappling with my own feelings of inadequacy and questioning my role in the relationship. I wanted to learn from this experience, to gain insights that would help me grow as an individual and as a partner in future relationships. As I navigated this emotional landscape, I also focused on the importance of moving forward. I understood that dwelling on the past would only hinder my healing process. While the pain of betrayal would always be a part of my story, I was determined not to let it define me. I began to set goals for myself, both personally and professionally, channeling my energy into activities that brought me joy and fulfillment. I sought out new hobbies, reconnected with friends, and invested time in self-care practices that nurtured my well-being. In this journey of reflection and growth, I found a renewed sense of purpose. I realized that while my marriage had ended, it did not signify the end of my capacity for love or happiness. I was committed to learning from the past, understanding the complexities of human relationships, and ultimately embracing the possibility of a brighter future. The experience had taught me valuable lessons about trust, communication, and the importance of nurturing connections. As I moved forward, I held on to the hope that I could emerge from this chapter of my life stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. The journey towards healing and personal growth following my divorce was not a straightforward path, but it began with a pivotal decision. I chose to seek therapy. The emotional trauma I experienced was profound, and I recognized that I needed professional support to navigate the complexities of my feelings. After researching various therapeutic approaches, I decided to pursue eye movement desensitization and reprocessing (EMDR) therapy. This innovative method is designed to help individuals process traumatic memories and reduce the emotional distress associated with them. I was hopeful that EMDR could provide me with the tools I needed to confront the pain of my past and move forward with my life. From the very first session, I felt a sense of relief. My therapist created a safe and supportive environment where I could express my feelings without judgment. Through EMDR, I was able to revisit the painful memories of my marriage and the betrayal I felt, but in a way that felt manageable. The process involved recalling specific events while engaging in bilateral stimulation, which helped to rewire my brain's response to those memories. Over time, I noticed a significant reduction in the emotional charge associated with my feelings of betrayal and loss. This newfound clarity allowed me to process my experiences more objectively, enabling me to separate my self-worth from my wife's actions. As I progressed through therapy, I began to develop healthier coping mechanisms for dealing with the emotional trauma of the divorce. I learned to recognize when negative thoughts crept in and how to challenge them. Journaling became a powerful tool for me. It allowed me to articulate my feelings and reflect on my journey. I also embraced mindfulness practices, such as meditation and deep breathing exercises, which helped me stay grounded during moments of anxiety. Gradually, I felt a shift within myself. The weight of the past began to lift, and I started to reclaim my sense of identity and purpose. With each step forward, I found myself becoming more open to the idea of dating and building new relationships. Initially, the thought of dating felt daunting. I was still processing the emotional fallout of my marriage and worried about the potential for further heartbreak. However, as I continued to heal, I realized that I didn't want to close myself off from the possibility of love and connection. I began to explore dating with a sense of curiosity rather than fear. I joined social groups and online platforms, eager to meet new people and expand my social circle. As I ventured into the dating world, I approached it with a newfound sense of self-awareness. I was more attuned to my needs and boundaries, having learned valuable lessons from my past relationship. I focused on building connections based on mutual respect and understanding, rather than rushing into anything. Each date became an opportunity for growth, allowing me to learn more about myself and what I truly desired in a partner. Through this journey, I discovered that healing is not a linear process. It involves ups and downs, moments of joy and moments of reflection. I embraced the idea that my past experiences, while painful, had shaped me into a more resilient and compassionate person. As I continued to heal, I felt a sense of hope blossoming within me, a belief that I could create a fulfilling life, rich with meaningful relationships and experiences. The journey toward healing and personal growth was just beginning, and I was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead with an open heart and an open mind. As we wrap up this video, let's take a moment to recap the emotional journey we've explored together throughout the divorce process. It's been a tumultuous ride filled with heartache, confusion, and ultimately growth. We've delved into the feelings of betrayal and sadness that often accompany the end of a long-term relationship, highlighting the importance of acknowledging and processing these emotions. Through my personal story, we've seen how confronting the pain can lead to valuable insights about ourselves and our relationships. The lessons learned during this time have been profound, teaching me about resilience, the necessity of self-care, and the importance of understanding the complexities of human emotions. One of the key takeaways from this journey is the significance of support systems. Whether it's friends, family, or professional therapists, having a network of people who can provide love and understanding is crucial in overcoming the challenges that life throws our way. I shared how my children became my pillars of strength, reminding me that even in the darkest moments, we are not alone. Additionally, the support from my extended family played a vital role in helping me regain my footing. It's a reminder that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but rather a courageous step toward healing. Personal growth has also been a central theme in this narrative. The journey through divorce can be an opportunity for self-discovery and transformation. By seeking therapy and engaging in practices that promote emotional well-being, I was able to reclaim my sense of self and embrace new possibilities. This journey taught me that while the end of a marriage can feel like a loss, it can also be a chance to redefine who we are and what we want from life. The process of healing is ongoing, and it's essential to remain open to new experiences and relationships as we move forward. As we conclude, I want to encourage you, the viewers, to engage with this content. If you found value in this video, please consider subscribing to the channel for more discussions on personal growth, relationships, and emotional well-being. Your support means the world and helps us create a community where we can share our experiences and learn from one another. I also invite you to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Have you experienced a similar journey? What lessons have you learned through your own challenges? Your stories and insights can provide comfort and encouragement to others who may be facing similar struggles. Let's foster a space where we can connect, support, and uplift one another as we navigate the complexities of life and relationships. Thank you for joining me on this journey of reflection and healing. Remember, while the road may be difficult, it is also filled with opportunities for growth and renewal. Together, we can embrace the lessons learned and move forward with hope and resilience. I look forward to hearing from you and continuing this conversation in the comments. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.